From the very start, when you get your hands on these miniatures, you think, wow, this is lovely. They must be so cool. And yes, they are, but unfortunately their color scheme, well, let me just tell you, not impressed at all. And so I decided to paint them differently, going for kinda like a Sylvanaswindrunner color scheme. So it turned out something like this. The rest of the warband looks similar as well. And if you want to learn how I did it, watch this video and find out. Well, when I first saw these miniatures, I was a little scared. I mean, just look how small they are. And this is the biggest one of the bunch. The others are even tinier. They are so small. Just so you can really see it, here is a standard 40k Primaris. And this... what even is this? So how do I go about it? Since there are so many minis in the box, I have to use the conveyor method. I will apply one color to each miniature and then go on to the next color. And since our color scheme is a bit unusual today, I think I will use something like this. And maybe a bit of this as well. I'm gonna use dark blue acryl, macric blue from Citadel in this case, since Sylvanas' skin is, well, you know... How do I put it? Well, its color is kind of uncertain. In different cinematics it's completely different. Sometimes it's violet, sometimes blue, sometimes kinda close to this color. But in one of the pictures I found the color that I like the most for this project. And I think it's the best to start with the dark blue. As it turns out, not everyone has an airbrush, so I decided to make do without it for this video, and only use brushes. That's going to be a bit easier. Look at this big, nice piece of fluff. I think it's meant for makeup or something. I bought it at a dollar store and I love it. It's just what we need here. Today we're going to be dry brushing a lot. In my opinion, it's the best technique to use for this type of miniatures. Miniatures of organic creatures tend to have a lot of skin. And some of these skinny bits can have a lot of detail on them. So I think dry brushing works the best for them. Some may call it a laser approach. Well, you can do it any way you like, but in this case I'll go for dry brushing. If you want to suffer over every tiny detail, go for it, why not? But in my opinion, if you aren't making it for an art contest, you probably should reduce the suffering to a minimum. You can spend a year on a mini and sure, the end result would be great. But if you want to actually play with what you paint, you would probably want to finish it a bit quicker. In any case, the base is done, the dark blue looks wonderful. I recommend taking a smaller brush here. Something like this will do nicely. And finish up any parts that don't look right to you. But we don't really want to completely cover the entire mini. We can leave some black poking through where it's hard to reach. It will actually make the shadows look a lot nicer on the finished mini. It's time to move on, and I think next we'll do Ahriman Blue. It will work great to make the dark blue parts lighter. Something like this. For now our guys look like this. Next we'll add some violet and maybe even some pink in some places. I'll try getting dark violet by mixing these two colors. I'll apply it selectively. I think we need to darken our mini a bit, to add a bit more contrast. We'll need null oil for that. Finally, the minis are starting to look like I want them to. But we still need to brighten some parts with light blue. And then we will add a bit of pink as well. We will brighten using Lothern blue this time, by dry brushing. So I take my big brush again. Let's apply a bit more violet to the parts that still look simply dark blue. I'll now use some bright pink to give some awesome, almost neon brightness to the minis. Sylvanas has this slightly pinkish tint in the sunlight, so we are going to add some of this color. You can use any pink color for this, but make sure it's at least this bright. This is how it looks with the pink. I'll add a bit more blue on top. So that's how they look for now. The base is ready, but the minis have fur and hair as well. So it's time to paint them, and I'll start with some Corax white. Now our fur is white, now I'll take any violet acryl. There, now I'll use some more bright pink on top. That will make the fur stand out nicely against the dark skin. Now we need to work on the metal. There are a lot of these little metallic bits like the axe, or these small hooks and stuff. Dry paint will work lovely here. I'll add some age using Razor Rust. Since these minis have a lot of bones, we need to make them somewhat realistic. So we are going to use this color. Yes, it's sandy, but we can add some white or darken it with agrex, for example. And we'll get realistic bone. We'll wash all of the bony bits with agrex earthshade to make them look more real. Now, after we've washed and darkened the bones, we need to brighten them again. And we'll do it using dry brushing. With a brush like this, I'll take the same sandy color from the Vizda and add a bit of white. That gives me a brighter shade of bone. But for now, I'll use some regular sandy color to restore the bone. Like this, you see? Now everything is almost ready and we can do the eyes. We need to paint eyes and mouth on each of these guys. We'll use our favorites, Mephiston Red and Dead White for coloring and highlighting. We want a bit of a glow around the leader's eyes to make them stand out a bit. I'll use some white to make a couple of dots and then apply the red. The eyes are done! Time for the bases. The bases are really simple here, since our dudes live in caves. It's all just black soil and grey dry brush. We'll use Abaddon Black for them. Now it's all ready. The bases are dried, and we can start dry brushing with the grey. I made the grey like this, black and white, and that's it. You could have guessed. Write in the comments if you figured out this enigma in advance. We need to add some white to make it a tone brighter. So the base looks like this. It's a bit homogeneous, but that's pretty lore-friendly. These guys live close to Beastgrave, which is mountains and a bunch of dungeons. I think you don't need much light in dark spaces anyways. It's quite a plain surface, everything melts with the stone, even parts like this with skulls. The paint alone isn't enough to show how grimdark these creatures are. We'll add some blood using this wonderful technique. It will really show how bloodthirsty these creatures are. Like if you bring skulls to the skull throne yourself. Before we varnish our minis, I think we should finish up the bases. They look ugly when they're all dirty. Now that all is ready, we need to protect our miniatures. I'll use Vallejo Premium Airbrush color. It's a glossy varnish to protect the colors on the minis. It is meant for an airbrush specifically, and you don't need to dilute it like I did in the previous video. You can see that video somewhere over here. The varnish worked great last time and dried really fast. It's really easy to apply with an airbrush, and this varnish is actually meant for the miniatures, unlike the last one. Now to remove the gloss from the protective varnish, I will use 100 Ultra Matte varnish from AK Interactive. This will be our last step. So these are our dudes. The skin is a lot like Sylvanas. And everything else looks quite grim. If we look at this little friend, we can see he is kind of mean and evil. The varnish is just great. There is no gloss, and I'm sure everything is well protected. And that's about it. A quick paint without an airbrush, using only brushes. I will see you next time, and always remember, the Emperor protects.